The fact remains that I have worked with institutions. There are institutions that I have seen that have gone through conflicting situations and they've collapsed. But there are institutions that have gone through conflicting levels and they've been able to manage conflicts. But the reality remains that conflict is one of those that destabilize companies and institutions, even at government level. Welcome to Beyond the Surface. My name is Fred Makuya. Tonight we discuss conflict resolution at institutional level. And Dr. Charles Ocici, the boss, the team lead, the executive director here at Enterprise Uganda, brings us to discussion. Welcome, Dr. Charles Ocici, on this episode.
I want to first say, how are you, viewers? Charles Ocici is a man who has been in the space of enterprise development and personal development for a long, long time. I have done this as a leader of Enterprise Uganda, an institution that has been doing this for the last 23 years.
Straight away, help me understand from your experience what could be the core issues that lead to conflicts in an institution.
Where conflicts exist, there are a couple of potential causes for them. Number one is inadequate information. If I come and say I should have been here, and then in my view, that's where I'm supposed to be, and I didn't know that yesterday there was a decision that was taken to give that responsibility to another person, I will conflict immediately. Reason was the information I had was not updated. And somebody else should have been able to make that kind of updating so that such conflict is not there. So just inadequate information. Human beings are habitual human creatures. In other words, they go with a particular pattern. That pattern is informed by particular information. Now, if that information is altered without you informing them that alteration, they will continue with what they have been doing before. So you could have changed the rules, systems, policies, but you have not told people. They will continue to do what they have been doing before. So that's number one. Number two, where the people feel there is unfairness. Information is all over the place, fine, but that information makes us know that there's unfairness here. People hate an environment or a culture where things are not rewarding effort, rewarding output. And at that point, people will feel, how do we change this? So again, where humanity feels equity is missing, they try to force it to come into place. That's the second cause of conflict. The other one could be just somebody feeling that I'm moving at a slower pace than I'm supposed to be moving. So you discover that you have come to this environment and they tell you this is exactly what you're supposed to be doing. And then please do it exactly that. And you feel this is small, I want to do this also, I want to do this also. And in the process, you are too fast, too good for an environment. And then somehow the environment is bottling you to a particular pace of movement. That will cause almost what you call a flooding. A river is flowing in a particular way because it has a force. Then it comes to a place where the neck is simply saying, no, this is how far you can pass here. Please pass at this kind of a level. So where there's constraint, and then the people with that environment have capabilities way beyond that kind of environment, they try to do things that can disrupt the system. And the other person will say, I told you not to do this. But the person says, I can do it. So again, if energy of the team is not adequately deployed, that can lead to, again, conflict. This person meant well. But then the system is simply saying, let's do it only up to this scale. At that point, again, conflict will happen. Probably the other one is just innocence and genuine ignorance. If somebody did not know anything, and then maybe the leader also didn't know otherwise, each person is ignorantly moving in a particular direction. And in the course of doing that, you begin to just say, but should have been this. This was also said, but should have been this. Ignorant people moving together can also lead to conflict. Those are some of the things that can create individuals to clash. But ultimately, I also want to say this, that conflicts are, by their very nature, inevitable where they are human beings. Again, because human beings have got that innate ability to learn, to improve, to get better. Now, as they learn and get better, that can lead to people questioning the way some things have been done. Much as those things were communicated, much as those things may have been working, somebody is saying, but I've just been in a training where we're told this, and the team you are talking to was not in that training. When you bring that in, others will say, but who are you? You've heard how historicals in organizations have said, we've been here for the last so many years, 4 years. You've just reported and you are giving us ideas. Who are you? Who are you to come and give us guidance? So while others are hanging on the past and history to justify certain actions, somebody is coming with fresh perspectives and saying, you know what, I've just returned from America, I've just returned from Malawi, I've just returned from Egypt, and they are doing it like this, and I feel we can also do it like that. So that historical perspective that has worked so well can sometimes create resistance to change. Now, where there's resistance to change, bang, conflict must take place. Because somebody is having a reason for not changing, and it is based on history. And that history was well grounded. But the history now is being challenged by the current realities. If history is going to keep on hanging on your head and you don't want to modify it using the realities of today, your 4 years of history can stifle people who do not know what you did in the past, and they are simply saying, we have a job to do, we have a customer to serve, we want to serve the customer. And in reality, this is what we want to do, and it's creating changes. So there comes another key word that will lead to potential conflicts. Appreciating change, interpreting change, and trying to see whether change will lead to something better or something that could disrupt what was working. So while others will be saying, let's stick to what we know, because they fear what will come out if you change, the others are simply saying, we have information that indicates to us that we should not fear change.
So last but not the very least, how then do we manage conflicts at the institution levels?
At any time, the conflicting parties should always be saying, what is our purpose as individuals? There is a James, there is an Angela here. A James wants to do something, an Angela also wants to do something. At the end of the day, what are you as entities supposed to achieve? That question takes me to what we call the primary reason for an entity to exist in the marketplace is serving the customer. So if we can be guided by the desire to serve the customer better, that will be one of the measures you can use to say, by the way, what you are saying, at the end of the day, we might serve the customer faster, we might save on certain costs, and that will make us become more competitive and serve more customers. It might make us increase the space where more workers can come in, and if we get more workers, we're going to serve the customers more. So one of the bearings that one must have at all times when you are assessing the value of conflict is to what extent will this make you a better supplier of solutions to your customers.
Some conflicts in institutions are silent conflicts. Help me understand, from your experience, how you would be able to identify silent conflicts in an institution.
This is how to pick some of these silent conflicts. You've convened a staff meeting. There's an agenda, and then the agenda is having some topics that need to be discussed, and then you tell people, this is the topic. Anybody with ideas, please share your ideas now. We want to make things to work. James, what's your view? No, it's okay, sir. Angela, what's your view? No, it's okay, sir. The moment staff talk like that, stony silence. But as soon as the meeting is over, everybody is talking and saying, just look at what he was saying. Me, I knew he was just pretending. If people cannot express themselves in a platform that is meant to give them a chance to speak, because speaking leads to listening to others. Listening to others leads to convergence of views. If people hold on to their views because of the way either the leader of the meeting is coaching questions for purposes of minutes, but it's not honest, and you know that this fellow is dishonest, if you talk, he's going to use your talking to go and punish you elsewhere. The safest is to keep quiet. So one of those ways is people do not speak in the open platform that they have been given to air out their views, to air out their pain. If people don't speak, just know that in there is a silent conflict, and that's more dangerous because those fellows who cannot express themselves will be expressing themselves in environments that could lead them to fight the system.
The reality is sometimes conflicts happen at the top or managerial level or with people that are key decision makers. And many times you want to involve us, those in the low levels, in this kind of conflict. In that very view, what would be your advice on how such conflicts can be handled in an institution?
Conflicts that come from people with authority tend to lead to camps. And having camps can be extremely fierce because people get owned. Are you for me or are you not for me? So they are watching to see which side are you on. Now, what happens with now the juniors is, first of all, they have a view and they might actually think that our boss is the one on the wrong, but our boss has authority over me. If I don't appear like I support him or her, I am putting a sword on my neck. So what that tends to do is it makes people to become much more recluse, not talking. Even the outside talking outside there, it's with whispers, and then they keep on saying, don't tell anybody. But please, I hope you don't tell the boss. The whispers get much more contained, and that is worse. In other words, when conflicts are championed by people with authority at the top, these are the people who can give you a job. These are the people who can give you a promotion. These are the people who can give you a punishment. The lower cadres go to a point of safeguarding their skin. And what you've just done, you've just killed energy. And what you have just done, you have killed the institution from delivering on its mandate. The longer that lasts, the more you are eroding the power of that organization. It doesn't matter whether it's religious, political, family, whatever it is, you are killing it. Because the entire force behind, every time when now the conflicting parties come to the office, the only thing is they want to know who is shifting camps to the other side. So you are sending people to a point of saying, please be safe, be safe, be safe. The moment workers shift from be of value to the customer to now saying, be safe and protect a job, you've lost that institution.
Dr. Charles Ocici, what is expected of a leader, especially at your level or at the key decision-making level, on how conflicts can be managed in an institution?
The first thing normally when conflicts arise is you just want to find out where did they come from. I've just mentioned a few of those. Is this people protecting their historical position? Is it lack of information? Is it me rushing people through change without telling them that this change could actually be absorbed at a certain pace? Is it just that I feel I'm the one who knows everything and everybody else is ignorant? Even this one who has just come from a training elsewhere, I don't want to listen to them, but I'm the one who took them for the training? Is it me who has recruited competent people, and then when they arrive, I tell them, but this is how we do things. You've arrived, all I needed was your name and your presence in the office. I'm not interested in your what? Your input. So the first thing is assess and find out what causes this conflict. Number two, the courage, the boldness to now say, to resolve a conflict, there must be some change that will take place, either from the leader to accept certain things to happen, or from the individuals to begin to know that, by the way, here, this conflict has arisen because We are shifting our client base from top-notch clients now to the mass market, and we had better shift and go there, accepting change. And that takes boldness. That takes humility. But you can best accept that change the moment you discover the purpose of the change in terms of the customer. So that, again, is very, very, very important. To what extent have you now said, now I've discovered where this conflict is coming from, and for us to cure it, there will be some change. And some of that change might mean some individuals getting more powers than they used to have. Some of that change means some individuals leaving the organization. Some of that change will mean the leader ceding certain powers that you used to enjoy. And those are the things that you need to do. And the only thing that you need to do in all those things is to respect humanity. In other words, these individuals that you are looking at and saying, they are coming here to give me advice, but I'm 60, and they are 32. Ignore the 32. Concentrate the content of their communication. Listening to them. Ignoring the age, ignoring the gender, ignoring the tribalistic labeling, and then beginning to say, what are they saying? It's like almost saying, give me the voice of the human being, let me distill the content in it, then I will see the person later. But unfortunately, in an environment of the office, the content deliverer is right in front of you, and it's a female. And you are so biased. You've got to contain that. The beauty about that is a consultant will come with independent lenses. He will simply say, this is your situation. Can I talk to this? Can I talk to so-and-so? Can I talk to so-and-so? And to the extent people trust the independence of the consultant, to that extent you will be able to get the best out of the consultant. If the consultant is brought in to rubber stamp what the boss wants, again, people will be able to see it. So yes, a consultant is a good remedy, but the consultant should come with all the credentials to allow people to trust the consultant as a genuine, independent individual coming to present a solution in a heated environment. And such a consultant should have a track record of doing what he's doing and saying, I have come here, I may know the boss in this place, but I know your mission much more than the boss. Allow me to look at what's going on here so that this mission is fulfilled.
You're cutting short as we plan to wind up this very significant discussion on conflict resolution at institution levels.
Conflict is inevitable in an entity, and they lead to growth. But they should not become the bread and butter of an organization, because at that point, conflicts are emotional, they are distressful, they can take long to heal. So try to do all it takes to make sure that you open as much avenues for some of the things that could lead to conflict to be absorbed, then they become a heated discussion rather than leading to a real fight. A conflict is like, I try to give you my ideas, you refuse, and then I'm almost beginning to say, can I shout? Can I get more loud? Can I jump around to just show that you are blocking me? In other words, before you reach the boiling point, there will have been already signs to indicate to you that people want to talk. People want to be listened to. People feel things could be improved. Please get yourself ready to do that. And at that point, you will be able to see the benefit of conflicts. Try to avoid making them a standard way of running an organization. One, you the boss who is in that environment, you are causing a lot of conflict, but the team you are running, that's causing you all this pain. They are 8, you are 1. Every day you are having issues with 7, 8 people. These people are having issues with one person, you. For you are having issues with 7, and every day you go with that baggage home. You are bleeding your body organs. You are bleeding your brain capability. You are harming yourself. You will not sleep. A conflicted person does not enjoy good sleep. That works on your brain in terms of quality, Alzheimer, and all these challenges that come with a person who's prone to generating conflict. In other words, I want people who enjoy the conflicting environment to know that it is their own interest to ensure that you have a harmonious working environment, and then use that environment to do things that make you sleep better because you serve the customer much better.
Thank you very much, Dr. Charles Ocici, the Executive Director of Enterprise Uganda, bringing us to speed on how we can manage some of these issues that cripple or that cause dysfunction or that even cause mental health amid the staff. My name is Fred Makubia, and thank you for being part and parcel of this episode of Beyond the Surface. My name once again is Fred Makubia.